Okay, so we have UFC Mexico, Moreno versus Erceg this weekend. It's time to do some predictions and break the whole card down, fight by fight. This card is very good, okay? A lot of the same fighters from UFC Noche, except this card might be actually slightly better. That card fucking sucked, but this card is good. Good main event. Dober versus Torres is a great fight. Featured bout, we got Salty Man Pfeiffer taking on the blockhead, old head Gastelum. That's a good fight. You know, there's some good fights in the prelims as well. A lot of people staying very active. I like that. So yeah, it's a good card. Let's break it all down. Starting with the first fight of the night, we got Austin Hubbard taking on Miquel Medeiros. All right. I'm going to be real. Austin Hubbard, I don't think has a single good aging UFC win. Okay. I don't know how he's still here. He's very bad. Like, he has some decent offense. He can hurt people, but in reality, this dude is low level as fuck, okay? Really bad defense. Not the best grappling to rely on if he's getting outstruck, you know? And Miquel is pretty good. Only has one fight in the UFC so far, but he's promising. He's young. He is decent. I think his grappling will get this fight done. He doesn't really have the most finish potential, so if you're going to bet, I think the best bet is definitely a decision here. This should be an easy win for him. If you can't beat Austin fucking Hubbard in 2025, then yikes. That's not a good look, okay? I think Marquel should be the heavy favorite here. I didn't check, but, you know, he's good. Good elbows in the clinch. Good clinch game, actually. Good knees up the middle. Not the best boxing. Again, not the most power, not the most finish potential. I wouldn't say finish potential in his submission game either. Like, he has finishes outside of the UFC, but when it comes down to it, it's not looking the most high. Not much finish potential, I'm going to be real. But he is good. He's very average, I'd say, but he's good enough to beat Hubbard. All right, so give me Miquel by decision. I don't think he gets the finish here. Next, we have Jamal Emmers taking on Gabriel Miranda. Okay, Miranda coming off of that brutal KO loss to Chariot, who just lost, actually. So, not the best aging loss, I'm going to be real, but Gabriel really is not an MMA fighter. Okay, he is, but he doesn't really have a striking game. You know, he has some, like, stupid little teep kicks he's going to flick out there. He'll like, throw a jab at you with not much power behind it. But in reality, Gabriel Miranda is a grappler in MMA. Okay, he has a very good submission game, decent wrestling, can drag people down. Not really the best takedowns per se, but he can get you down. He can get your back. And if he does, his submission game is very real. Okay. And then you have Emmers, who's basically a Walmart MVP. Has the same sort of style. Not just because he's black and he looks like him, but he has literally the same style. He's always flowing, jumping, very floaty on his feet, all over the place. Good foot movement on the outside, trying to come in and explode with big strikes to hurt the opponent he's facing. Yeah, he's good. I think he should get this one done. Like, it's either Jamal Emmers, like, completely destroys Gabriel on the feet for 3 rounds or KOs him, or Miranda gets the sub. But I think Jamal's grappling should be good enough, okay? He has been submitted twice in his UFC, not his UFC career. Once in the UFC he got heel hooked by somebody. Who was it? Sabatini? I think he got heel hooked by Sabatini, which I don't really think he's going to get heel hooked here. So that probably won't happen again. Sabatini is good as well. It's not a bad loss to have. He's been subbed once outside of the UFC, but other than that, his grappling is good. He has good offensive grappling too, so if he needs to, he can take down Miranda here, which is dangerous. I think he should just stay on the feet, jab him up, kick him up. He has really good kicks. Yeah, he's like MVP. Like, I don't need to explain it. He has a very similar style to MVP. In and out movement, constantly floating, quick on his feet, light on his feet, you know. I think this is an easy pick. I think you can bet on Gabriel to get the upset by submission, but if that's the only way, you should bet here. Okay, either submission for Gabriel or Emmers by decision, because Gabriel did just get KO'd, but I wouldn't say he has a glass chin. I really wouldn't. I'd say he's just kind of weak and brittle to the body, especially. I think he got dropped with a body kick from Chariot. So yeah, it's hard to say here, but I think the right pick here and the most likely outcome is Emmers by decision. So I'm going to go Emmers by decision. Next, we have Rafa Garcia taking on Vince Pichel. All right, Pichel, I don't know. All right, the vet, Pichel. Probably one of the most inactive fighters of all time for how long he's been here. He's been here since 2012, okay? 2012. And this dude's fought like 10 times, all right? It's actually insane. He's been fighting once a year for like 5 years straight or something. He's 42 years old. Rafa Garcia is going to win the fight. I'm not even that impressed with Rafa Garcia, and I could see maybe Pichel KOing him in the first or second round, but if he doesn't KO him, most likely the first, I see Rafa Garcia just out-cardioing him, outpacing him. He is decent. Like, he has some power. He's very short. He's fucking jacked. Short, strong, and stocky. Has some decent power in him. Should have more power in him for how short and stocky he is and how buff he is. But, you know, sometimes that doesn't translate to power. Yeah, Rafa Garcia just got KO'd, I'm pretty sure, by, what's his name? Grant Dawson. Just TKO'd him on the ground after grappling, like completely dominating him with the grappling. Got full guard on his back and just rained down ground and pound until it was stopped. Pichel does have some crafty, underrated takedowns, you know. He can get you down, man. He really can. But I just can't pick a 42-year-old guy who's this inactive. I just can't do it, all right? I did just pick that guy to beat Kevin Holland. Gunner. I did just pick Gunner to beat Kevin Holland, but that's different, all right? Gunner is a beast, and Pichel is not really a beast. You know, he's a crafty vet. He's a respectful legend, all right? But I'm not picking him. I'm not picking him, bro. All right, I'm not doing it. Give me Rafa Garcia here by lackluster, boring, low-output decision. Next, we got Lupi Godinez taking on Julia Pastrolli. All right, sounds like a fucking food item. I'm going to go Lupi here. What kind of name is Lupi, man? I'm sorry. But I'm going to go Lupi here. She's actually very good. You know, I think both these girls are actually pretty good. Julia's good as well. I'd say Julia has the striking advantage here for sure. She just is higher output and damages people more often, but I'd say Lupi Godinez has good counter striking. So if she's patient, she has good defense. So if she's patient here and relies on her counter striking to win the striking exchanges, I don't think she's going to get hurt on the feet here. I think her defense will hold up. And she's just a better grappler, okay? Defended a lot of takedowns from that inbred girl who looks like a literal zombie. I forget her name. Ira something? I don't know. I'm going to go Lupi Godinez here to get it done by decision, okay? She could sub her, though. She has a very good submission game. But Julia has faced some decent levels of competition so far in her short career in the UFC so far. So I think her submission defense will hold up, okay? Give me Lupi Godinez here by decision. Holy shit, is that 4 decisions back to back to back to back? I hope this is all wrong, because I hope it's not 4 decisions back to back. Next we have McQuizzle Costa taking on Christian Rodriguez. Christian Rodriguez getting fed another prospect, all right? Not really. You know, he's not an undefeated prospect who only has a few fights in the UFC. He's been beat. He's had like 5 fights at this point, McQuizzle. So it's not the same, but he also is kind of just getting fed like all these guys who have potential to get to the rankings. Costa's very good, but I'm going to go Christian Rodriguez here. Honestly, just for the memes. Like, I want him to just keep beating all these young guys, even though he's pretty young himself. But I just want him to keep beating all these guys who everyone thinks has a lot of potential and is going to be something. I just want him to beat all of them. It's so fucking funny how they keep feeding him, and he keeps beating them. It's, Roses, that one American wrestler who just got beat by him. He beat Cameron Simon. He beat so many undefeated prospects. Like, oh my god, it's so funny. But he's actually very good. He's obviously very good if he's doing that. He's a very good grappler. But here's the problem here. I think McQuizzle Costa is an underdog here. He's a good underdog pick because he has the capability to defend all the takedowns off of Rodriguez. He has good grappling. I'd say more offensively than defensively, grappling-wise. But hey, his striking looked really good against Andre Fili. Really nasty body kicks, mixing in the head kicks every once in a while to keep him guessing. Not really that good with the hands, I'd say. But he has a submission game himself. So I'd say the finish potential is on the side of McCoisel Costa. Christian Rodriguez doesn't really have much power in his hands. Not really that effective at ground and pounding, finishing people. But I just think Christian Rodriguez will be the better scrambler here. I think he'll have the better cardio. He's more tested. And he just has a higher fight IQ. You know, I've seen Costa do some pretty dumb fucking things in that octagon, okay? Coming off of a good win, staying very active, that could be a bad thing. Like, he's very active. This was like a couple weeks ago. Christian was like double the amount of weeks ago that he did. So not that far back either, but I don't know. I think the right pick here is Christian Rodriguez by submission, okay? I think Costa's grappling is a lot better offensively than it is defensively. He's definitely submittable, so yeah, give me Christian Rodriguez here by submission. Next we have Ateba Gutierrez taking on Jose Medina, all right? Jose Medina, man, he might be the most close thing we've ever seen to a human punching bag. I've never seen someone get their ass beat more and smile about it than the beating that Jonathan Pierce put on this dude. He literally was just a punching bag. You know, Jonathan Pierce is good, but holy shit, it was so bad how he was getting his ass beat, how bad he was. Yeah, I'm going to go Ateba here. I think he's pretty bad, but so is Medina. Medina has 2 or 3 losses back-to-back in the UFC so far. Hasn't really showed much potential. Has a lot of has a lot of finishes outside of the UFC, but I just think that that competition must have been shit. It must have been, because he's looked so bad. Has pillow hands, doesn't really have offensive grappling to fall back on. He just isn't good. And I think Ateba has the finish potential here, even though he won't. This is going to be another decision, guaranteed. Ateba, I worry about his cardio. I've seen him in certain fights gas slightly and lose the last round, which is concerning, but he has really good striking, really heavy hands. He does have power. He does have the ability to chin Medina here. He has the grappling as well, He's decent. He's well-rounded. He's not just a one-trick pony. He's pretty bad. They're both pretty bad. This is a very low-level fight. It will be, at least, which probably means it could be a finish. More likely chance of a finish when they're low-level. Let's be real. But no, I think they're both pretty durable, both pretty average, both pretty bad at finding chins, and they don't really have submission games. So I'm going to go Ateba here by decision. But this is basically a pick'em. Who gives a fuck? Next we have CJ Fagara taking on Edgar Chairez. Dude, I'm so glad they gave Edgar Chairez one more chance. Oh my god, I'm so glad. Okay, he's coming off of that loss to Joshua Van, right? I think so. Maybe there was one more fight after that. I'm forgetting, but he's such an exciting fighter, man. He's really good. He is, flyweight is better with him, okay? He needs to stay in the UFC. He may only have 1 win and 4 losses, but CJ Fagara is just not that threatening. He's just I don't like CJ Fagara's style or his attitude in the octagon. He always has his hands down, acting like he's really good with his head movement and just doing too much when he's ducking his head like Yuri and getting hit with really bad jabs. I don't know, man. I'm just not really that impressed with CJ Fagara. I think he's very overrated. He's been finished before. I think he's been submitted in the UFC as well. Not really the strongest looking guy. He's like a newborn baby physique type of guy. All right, I don't know. He can win this. Chairez has been hurt a lot in the octagon. He has been grappled against offensively a lot too. But he's also faced very high levels of competition. He's had nothing but hard fights. I think he fought Tatsura Taira in his debut or something. Crazy. So, give me Chairez here. I think he's going to implement the body kicks and calf kicks really well here with Chairez's, kind of nonchalant attitude of just pressing forward, not really doing a whole lot except staring at them. Yeah, give me Chairez here by knockout. Next we have Ronaldo Rodriguez taking on Kevin Borjas, all right? I still don't know to this day why Ronaldo Rodriguez took a 4-year break in between his Contender Series win or whatever it was and then his UFC debut. I don't know. But he seems to be back. He seems to be here. He seems to be ready to fight. Okay, and I remember I wanted to pick Ode Osborne against this short little fucker so bad. Okay, I wanted to pick him so bad, and I nearly did, but I didn't. And then he almost got finished. And then he came back and won. And Kevin Borjas is kind of just dog shit. Or he's really not. He's decent. He's like 0-3 in the UFC so far, so I'm surprised he's still here. He is good, and he is actually the kind of style that should beat Ronaldo Rodriguez. Long, lanky, basics, just has a stiff jab. Ronaldo Rodriguez has a very short reach. The smallest flyweight on the roster, probably, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Joshua Van gets that throne. But we love Joshua Van here, all right? I'm going to go Rodriguez here. I think he'll win with the grappling. I think he's stupid, and every time he goes for a calf kick, he has his chin right in their guard to get fucked up. He does that every time. He did that against Ode Osborne and got him almost finished. So hopefully he stops trying to calf kick long and lanky opponents who outrange him completely, okay? If he's smart here, he will mix in the grappling immediately, okay? He has decent clinch game, good elbows, decent little, boxing, but when it comes to his jab, it's non-existent. When it comes to his calf kicks, they get him in trouble every time. When it comes to his head kicks, they're non-existent. So he doesn't really have many tools to get his fights done, but I think the tools that Rodriguez has will win him this fight. I think he's a very good grappler, very good scrambles, very good submission game. I'm going to go Rodriguez here by submission. Next we have David Martinez taking on Simon Oliveira, who's been very inactive. He's very old. I'm picking David Martinez, okay? He's also just, bro, he's straight from Cyberpunk. How you going to have that badass name, all right? David Martinez, I'm picking you, all right? I got to pick you just for that. He's also very good. He gave that really good fight on the Contender Series that went to decision with that guy who had, the Joker tattooed into his hair or something. I don't even know. Very good fight. Badass fighter. He has a really fun style. Just nonstop pressure boxing. Good kickboxer. Not really the guy to shoot a takedown, it seems. I don't really know how his defensive grappling is, but Simon Oliveira is very brittle, very weak, very bad. Okay, he has decent striking. He can strike with David here. He can, but I just think David's power and his youth and his grit is better and will pull through here in this fight. Give me David Martinez by knockout. Next we have Raul Rosas Jr. Finally, this kid is refusing to be active, okay? Taking on Vince Morales, who actually just fought a couple weeks ago. So this is a very bad matchup for him, okay? Very short notice for both guys. It hasn't really been official for very long, which makes me question. I guess they really just wanted Chihuihuis on the Mexico card. I guess. I don't know. A lot of Mexicans on this card, which makes sense, but I don't really think we need Mexicans on the card strictly, okay? These guys are refusing to fight unless there's Mexican cards. Be active, all you fuckers. It's like all these guys waited since UFC Noche to fight again, you know? They're waiting for the next Mexican event. Damn. Fight, bruh. Come on now. But yeah, I'm going to go Chihuihuis here. I'm going to go Chihuihuis here. I was really, really debating on picking Vince Morales because he is good, and he's probably going to be cut if he loses this, so maybe he'll have that next level motivation. And he does have a submission game, which Chihuihuis has been subbed so far as his only loss. You know, he gets a bit excited, but to be fair, in that one loss he had, he jumped the gun. He completely gassed out after the first round, thinking he was just going to get the round one sub by, guaranteed, you know. Chihuihuis should be getting better. He should be improving, especially with all this time off. He should come back, look the best he ever has, be bigger, growing into his body as a very young man. He should be getting better, okay? So I'm not going to pick against him here. If it's going to be someone to beat him, it's going to take more than Vince Morales. And Vince Morales is good. He almost just beat the last guy he fought. Very competitive fight. Almost subbed him in the last second. But man, he's just always one step down from the competition he's fighting, and it's sad. He's been cut and re-signed before. He's probably going to get cut again now. It's unfortunate, man. He is exciting. He's a good fighter, well-rounded, but he has no power in his hands. Not really the highest output guy. Certain matchups he's had, he's just very plotty and overthinks. Chiwiwi's is the opposite. He's young, brash, confident, going to be coming forward with everything he has, going for the finish constantly. That could bite him in the butt here and get him finished in the later rounds from gassing again, but nah. I'm going to go Chiwiwi's here. Give me Raul Rosas Jr. by submission. Next we have Kevin Gastelum, the vet, taking on Joe Pyfer, the salt mine, right, himself. I'm going to go Kevin Gastelum, all right? I have not really picked any underdogs in this card. I've got to pick one, all right? At least one, because, oh, God. I'm going to do so bad on picks. Like, I realize I didn't pick any underdogs up until now, and usually at least 3 or 4 underdogs are winning nowadays, so probably going to do bad on picks, but, you know, I'm not going to change them just because the odds are bad. Like, I don't know. I'm picking Gastelum here. All right, Joe Pyfer. Let me tell you about Joe Pyfer, man. Okay, lost to maybe one of the most like basic fighters ever in the Joker, Hermanson. Okay, lost to one of the most basic fighters ever who has no pop in his shots. Just basic calf kicks and jabs and basic boxing combinations is all it took to beat Pyfer. And obviously, it was more the 5 rounds that Pyfer wasn't ready for. He was not ready to main event the Apex yet, all right? The kid wasn't ready for it, okay? Yeah, I just think Pyfer, this is a really bad matchup for him. I think Gastelum looked really good in his last fight against D-Rod. I think he looked really good. I know he missed weight, but I saw an Instagram post, and Gastelum had abs all of a sudden. I don't know if it was AI or whatever. I think he finally bought a nutritionist, paid for a nutritionist. Fucking bought him like a slave. Oh my God. Paid one to give him a meal plan. And I think he's going to make weight. I think his cardio is going to be the best it ever has. I think he's going to lose the first round, almost get finished. But you're not finishing Gastelum. By KO at least. Joe Pyfer could submit him here. But I don't think Pyfer's wrestling game is as good as people make it out to be. Okay? Gastelum's jiu-jitsu game is bad, but his wrestling is good, defensively and offensively. I think Gastelum's never going to get finished. He has a block head. His head's fucking massive. He has an iron chin. Was getting pieced up by D-Rod at moments. Didn't even flinch. Was just marching forward anyway. Alright? I think Joe Pyfer's going to box him up in the first round. Get excited. Almost finish him. Maybe get him down. Start ground and pounding on him. Give up. Go for submissions. Fail them all, okay? It's going to make it out of the first round. And then Gastelum, with his ugly, dirty boxing and his high output and his stupid style of marching forward, not giving a fuck what's coming back at him. He's going to win the next 2 rounds. Very close rounds. I think the second round will be very close, so I could see a robbery decision here for Pyfer. But I think Gastelum will lose the first, win the next 2, almost finish him at the end of the third, because he'll just out-volume and out-gas tank Pyfer by a large margin, okay? So yeah, I think I've explained myself well. I think this is a good underdog pick. I think Pyfer is very good, but the matter of the fact is, every win he has is by finish. He's not used to going to decisions. He believes in himself and goes for the finish every fight and every second of the fight. And I think that will bite him in the ass here. I really do. Give me Gastelum by decision. Next, we have Manuel Torres taking on Drew Dober. All right. If this was a 5-round Apex main event, I would be picking Drew Dober 100%. But Torres, I really wanted to pick Dober here, but I think it's a pick 'em, so it's not even really like worth picking Dober when Torres is he's just gonna win. Like, he's gonna win. Don't overthink it. I know a lot of people are gonna pick Dober just because he's a legend. We all love Dober, but do you see the skin color of Torres? Yeah, I didn't think so, kid. He's not black, okay? This is nerfed. This is nerfed Dober, all right? Manuel Torres is just simply going to out-grapple him. When you look at it and you actually watch their fights back, Dober gets out-grappled by everybody. He's such a bad wrestler defensively, man, and offensively. And he has no submission game. He's no threat on the ground. Torres is going to be scrambling and grappling nonstop without a worry in the world. Or maybe just going to be an idiot and refuse to grapple and get KO'd in the first round. And who knows what I know. I'm going to look dumb if that happens. But I think he'll grapple here. I think Dober's power is kind of overrated. So I don't think the potential for a first round finish is as high. I do think Dober could win the first round just from winning the boxing exchanges. But once they're wet and no longer dry in the later rounds and tired a little, I think Manuel will take over with the grappling and most likely just get a decision. But I think I'm going to actually go with Manuel Torres here because he's such a crazy finisher and he's always looking for the finish and he's so high output and so crazy. Give me Torres here by submission in the third round. Next we have the main event, Brandon Moreno taking on Steven Erceg, okay? Man, this fucking hurts, bro. I fucking love Steve Erceg, bro. But he's going to lose, man. He's going to be on a 3-fight losing streak. He's just not beating Brandon Moreno, man. Brandon Moreno is a beast. He's still in his prime. I don't know how old he is, but I don't think he's very old. I think he's 33 or something. I'd guess he's still in his early 30s. He still looks great. Just had a masterclass against Amir Albazi. He looks great. Everyone thought he was done, and then he beat Amir easily, and I just think Brandon Moreno gets this one done. I don't want to say it, but he's better everywhere. He's better everywhere. He's just going to outstrike Erceg, and his grappling is just very good, I'd say the grappling between Moreno and Pantoja was way more competitive than the Pantoja and Erceg scrambles. The Erceg fight was very competitive. You can score that that fight for Erceg. You definitely can off damage. Very good elbows in the clinch, decent hands, decent boxing, but man, you're just lacking the fight IQ. Why are you not grappling immediately against the hardest hitting 125er? And you're getting knocked out cold. Fuck. Oh my God. It hurts, but Erceg's going to be on a 3-fight skid. There's no way he wins this fight. He's going to get out cardioed. He's going to get out outputted. He's going to get outclassed. I genuinely believe the only way he can win this fight is by finish. I don't see him beating Brandon Moreno by decision. Brandon Moreno's cardio has been iffy in certain fights, but I just think with all the experience, all the fucking people he's beat, all the people he's lost to, he just learned so much. He has such a high fight IQ. He's so well-rounded. He's good everywhere. He's a better striker than Erceg. He has more power. He has more versatility. He should just win this fight, okay? I think Erceg is the underdog, as he should be. I don't think he's a very good underdog here. I don't really see him winning this fight. Maybe I'm dumb, and maybe he's actually going to out-grapple Moreno easily, like Pantoja did at some points in their fight, but I don't know. I don't see it, okay? Personally, I do not see it, okay? I'm going to go Brandon Moreno by decision. I don't think he has much finish potential, I'm going to be real, but I think he wins this probably 3 rounds to 2, maybe even 4 rounds to 1, okay? I think he's sometimes a slow starter, so Erceg could be doing good in the early round, win the first round, have something to prove after those 2 losses, really trying to go at it, but then Moreno's going to find his rhythm, get in his groove, and start winning, and start taking over. Give me Moreno by decision. That's the whole card, the whole UFC fight in Mexico, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.